If you've thought about using video to help customers learn about your business, or perhaps teach your customers how to use your website, we hope this tutorial will get you started. Welcome, I'm Rich and I'm glad you're here. There are 4 tutorials in this series. This tutorial is about editing your video in Camtasia. Other tutorials in this series are about hardware and software recommendations to set up your video studio. We include video planning and preparation tips, recording screen activity video, and about PowerPoint to video, producing your video from Camtasia, and available resources to help you with video. In this tutorial, we'll help you learn about the Camtasia Studio Editor and share some editing tips. Editing. Now that your masterpiece recording is in the Camtasia Studio Editor, make sure you save your project. I suggest you save often, just in case something goes wrong, like a crash. Let's look around here. The 3 main areas of the editor are the clip bin, the canvas, and the timeline. Let's start with the clip bin. Along the bottom of this area, you'll see a series of tabs. The clip bin tab is selected. The clip bin holds all the video and audio images that are being used in the current project. Import more media into your project by clicking this button. Let's import that PowerPoint MP4 we exported earlier. Drag individual media to your timeline to add them to your video. The next tab is the library. The library is really handy. The library holds timeline sequences, video, audio, and image clips that you want to use from project to project. You can add your own at any time. The rest of the tabs are for adding or editing special effects to your video. Click on More to see additional features you can use. Next, let's explore the canvas. It's also called the preview window because this is where you can preview your video before you produce it. The canvas is the working area where you arrange your media. Right now, the video fills the entire canvas. When you click and hold on top of the video, you can drag your video wherever you want it. As you move media on the canvas, the snapping guidelines appear. If you want to resize the video to be smaller or larger in your produced video, just grab a corner to resize it. That's called zooming. You can rotate your video to customize it even more. The non-active part of the canvas surrounds the active part of the canvas. Anything on the non-active part is not included in the video. Here are the playback controls and a helpful timecode that shows the current playhead position and the overall duration of your video. Scrub through the video to quickly locate a specific segment. You can zoom in or out on the canvas, but this doesn't change the way the produced video will look, only the way you see it on the canvas to help with editing. If you do want to change the editing dimensions, click here. The 720 HD, that's 1280 by 720, is a versatile standard that is viewed well on large monitors, laptops, and tablets, even the small ones. Moving on to the timeline. This is where you assemble and edit your video. There are unlimited number of tracks to build your video. You can place video, audio, or images on any track. Add an additional track by clicking the plus here. Or right-click on a track and choose to add a track above or below the current track. You can adjust the height of one track or use the slider to adjust the height of all tracks. You'll notice the playhead has a green in point and a red out point attached to it. These are used to make selections on the timeline, to copy, delete, or perform other actions. The quickest way to clear a selection you've made is to double-click the playhead. The timeline toolbar has a zoom in and zoom out slider that really helps with editing, as it lets you make more precise cuts or selections. There are also buttons to cut, split, copy, and paste media on the timeline. Let's look at a few specific editing techniques to make sure your video shines above the rest. You know media is selected when it turns blue. You can lock individual tracks, say to protect them when you're editing other tracks. You can also turn tracks on or off by clicking the eye icon to the left. The icon turns blue and the track dims. When you turn off a track, the audio is silenced, the media can't be edited, and the media is not visible on the canvas, and it will not be included in the produced video. Where media is stacked in multiple tracks, I think of them as layers. The media in the lowest track is farthest away from me in the video. Media above that are closer to me. So the media in a track above a lower track will overlay or cover it. When an image is in a track, its duration is adjusted by its length in the track. Simply drag the in point or out point to adjust its duration. You trim video media by hovering over one end of the media until your cursor changes into a double arrow. Then drag it in. Trimming merely crops the media instead of deleting it. So if you have to backtrack, simply drag it back out. And voila, your video is restored. It's called non-destructive editing. In fact, your original media sitting up there in the clip bin is not at all touched by the editing you do in the timeline. To make a split, select the appropriate clip or clips. Move the playhead where you want to split and click this button. You can also use the S hotkey. Splitting lets you isolate sections of your video or audio for further editing. Pay attention to which clips you have selected, so you split only the clips you intended to split. That's where locking or turning off tracks can really help you avoid those mistakes. Never underestimate the power of undo. When you create a gap in a track, you'll want to close it up. Although I could move each media separately, it's more efficient to select the first media, hold Shift, and drag. See how it moved the media to the right as well? That's called a ripple move. You can also ripple move across multiple tracks. Say you didn't leave room for a title slide at the beginning, but now you want to add one. Simply move the playhead to the beginning of the project. Then hold the Shift key while dragging the playhead. Now there's space. Another really useful edit is extend frame. You may need more time for narration to make a point, but the video keeps going. Extend frame essentially duplicates a frame as a still. Then you can adjust the frame's duration to pause the video to match your narration. Select the clip. Then move the playhead to the frame you want to extend. Right-click, choose Extend, or use the hotkey E. I really like that hotkey E. See, a copy of the frame was added to the end of the clip. The default duration is 1 second. You can adjust here, or drag it on the timeline. Here's a call-out tip. Call-outs are a great way to draw attention to something on your screen. There are arrows, spotlights, text, and sketch motion callouts that look like you're drawing on the screen. To add a callout, move your playhead about where you want the callout to appear. It's really easy to move it later. Click the Callouts tab. Click Add Callout. The last callout used is added to the track and to the canvas. If this isn't the one you need, expand the Shape menu and choose the one you need. The callout is layered over the video and can be dragged anywhere on the canvas. Grab a corner to resize it. You can even rotate it. To change the properties of the selected callout, expand these menus to change the border color and width, the fill color, and many different effects. Some callouts even allow you to add text. Adjust the duration by dragging the ends until it syncs with your audio just right. Use these editing techniques to synchronize your voice narration with your video. There's so much more to share, but alas, we must move on. This video was produced by Rich Horsinger of Simply Explained It. You're invited to contact me if you have questions about creating video for your business or help with your video needs. Be sure to check out the other tutorials in this series. And thanks for joining us.